Welcome to Council Action. My name is Elizabeth Couts. I'm the mayor of the city of Burnsville. Council Action is a summary of the council's meeting on Tuesday, December 8th, 2015. The meeting was called to order at 6:30 p.m., and we begin our meetings with a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. We then move on to our announcements, and we had one proclamation. Our announcements have to do with all of our upcoming meetings. Council meetings are scheduled for Tuesday, December 22nd at 6:30 p.m., Tuesday, January 5th at 6:30 p.m. We also have a work session scheduled for Tuesday, December 15th at 6:30 p.m. All meetings are held in the council chambers. We also have another work session on Tuesday, January 12th at 6:30 p.m., and all meetings are held in the council chambers. And we had one proclamation for Burnsville, it can wait. And this is our effort to communicate to our citizens that texting is not legal. And please tune into the City Council meeting. And we want everyone to obey the law and save lives, because texting can wait. Checking your emails and anything else on your devices can wait, and it can save lives. And we also acknowledge Sergeant Smith, who was the inspiration for putting this forward and for us to make sure that we communicate this message. And he was the driver for this initiative. And tune into the City Council meeting, because it was wonderful to present this proclamation to Sergeant Smith, who was the inspiration for this effort. Then we moved on to citizens' comments. No one spoke to the council on any items. And there were no additions to the final agenda, no emergency items, and we moved on to the consent agenda. The first item on the consent agenda, we approved all of the minutes of our past meetings. We approved claims listing. We also certified the delinquent water and sewer accounts to the property taxes. And we approved the resolution to authorize the application for Dakota County CDA Redevelopment Incentive Grant for Cliff Road West, DuPont, 126th Street improvements. We approved a resolution for the allocation of Community Development Block Grant funds, and to approve the application for fiscal year 2016-17. And we approved the joint powers agreement with Independent School District 191 for the Burnsville Senior Center. We approved and authorized the project plans and specifications and ordered the advertisement for bids for the granular activated carbon replacement project at the surface water treatment plant. We also approved a resolution receiving the report and calling for a public hearing for the DuPont 126 Cliff Road Street Improvement Project. We approved a resolution for a joint powers agreement with Dakota County for engineering, highway construction, and signal revision. This is the signal fiber optic interconnections on County Road 42. Between County Road 5 and the easterly city limits. We also approved and ordered the project and plans and specifications for potable water distribution system rehabilitation. We approved the resolution declaring the discretionary environmental assessment worksheet requirement for the quarry surface water intake upgrade. And that was the end of the consent agenda. And we move on to the regular agenda. And the first item on the regular agenda was a public hearing to approve an increase for on sale 3.2%, on sale 3.2% off sale wine and temporary liquor license fees. That item was presented. No questions were asked. We've been working on all of these items in the last 6 months. I opened the public hearing. No one spoke to this item, closed the public hearing, and the item was approved. We then move on to the ordinance establishing the 2016 fees and charges. This item was presented, and again, these were the items that we were working through in the last 6 months. All of our work sessions you can stream on the web, www.burnsville.org. There were no questions for staff on this item, and the item was approved. We then move on to the resolutions establishing the 2016 property tax levy and adopting the 2016 budget and the adoption of the 2016-2020 capital improvement program. This item was presented, and we had one resident, a business owner, who spoke at the work session objecting to the tax for businesses, and he has a business in our city. And there were no, we had one other person who spoke, but his was an input on the capital improvement program, and had an idea for our staff to consider when the bridge is going to be reconstructed. So those were the two people who spoke at this point. The item was presented. Councilmember Keeley made a motion to separate the facilities portion from the budget, and he made a motion to do that, and it failed for lack of a second. And the budget and the levy and the capital improvement plan was approved. I then recessed the Burnsville City Council meeting so the special meeting of the Economic Development Authority meeting can take place. That meeting was called to order, and there was one item on a consent agenda, and that item was approved. It was the minutes of the past meeting. And the one item on the regular agenda was a resolution to adopt the Burnsville Economic Development Authority 2016 property tax levy. That item was presented and approved. There were no other items to come before the Economic Development Authority, and therefore the meeting was adjourned. Then I reconvened the Burnsville City Council meeting, and the last item on the Burnsville City Council meeting was a resolution to adopt the actions of the Burnsville Economic Development Authority for the 2016 property tax levy. The Burnsville City Council must ratify the actions of the Burnsville Economic Development Authority. So the Economic Development Authority commissioners adopted the levy for the Burnsville Economic Development Authority, and then on item number 9, the Burnsville City Council ratified and adopted the actions of the EDA. And there were no other items to come before the City Council, and a meeting was then adjourned. I'd like to remind everyone that council action replays at 6 a.m. and noon, 6 p.m. and midnight. And the City Council meetings replay at various times on Sunday, Monday, Thursday, and Friday. I encourage you to watch the following to see how you can view past meetings and current meetings via the internet at www.burnsville.org. I'm Elizabeth Couts, Mayor of the City of Burnsville. Thank you for joining me, and continue to make a difference.